Hello, my gorgeous Leos. How goes it, guys? This is Debs, and this is your reading for mid-November 2025. And Leo, I've got a massive smile on my face because the energy coming from you was just tangible. I felt excitement. I felt a sense of relief. I felt as if my heart had swelled and I was just full of the joys of spring, even in mid-November, right? The song that came through for you guys was Walking on Sunshine by, I think, Katrina and the Waves, a really old song. But I just felt a huge sense of life is good. So Leo, I don't know what you've got planned. I did actually see someone bashing very excitedly on their laptop and they had points, right? Yeah, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I need to do that. You were sort of really excited about something. So Leo, I don't know what this is, but let's delve in and find out, guys. But I do feel it's been after a place where you felt heavy and a bit sort of down about life and a little bit nervous about the future and maybe confused. You're pushing that away and you're embracing this really lovely, bright, sparkly energy. It's fantastic, Leo. So here we go, guys. Now the deck that I'm using is the Marchetti deck. Everything you need is down below in the description box. Yeah, Leo, you have conquered something. The moon. You conquered something. Have you conquered your fear? You conquered something. You may have been sat, Leo, worrying about the future. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? No, Leo, you're just embracing the now and you're pushing on. You're pushing forward with something, Leo, that you're getting very excited about. This could just be a complete change of mindset. So, Archangel Michael, what do we have for my lovely Leos? Thank you, Michael. Arnold's in the corner and he's doing a jig. He's doing a jig. He's sort of dancing on the spot. Leo, what has happened, guys? Now, if you're there thinking, well, my life is pretty crap right now, Dads, this is to come. There could be something very exciting coming in for you. It could be a windfall. It could be somebody you meet. It could be a pay rise. It could be you're deciding to jump ship of a 9-to-5 and start a business. Leo, I don't know. I'm thinking of the usual things this would be, but this could be anything for you. You're just embracing your happiness. But it has come after difficulty. I will say that. I will say that. Okay, guys. Let's have a look. Let's delve in. Okay. All right. 6 of coins. All right. Leo, you are deciding to pull yourself back into balance after facing a few challenges. Could have been financial. Could have been financial. Yeah. Okay. Leo, you were betrayed by someone. It could be somebody breadcrumbed you. It could be, Leo, you sat feeling miserable for a period of time. I have to admit that. Okay, guys. Sitting in fear. In the past, 7 of Wands, you may have wanted to cause it yourself. You may have wanted to detach from the world. After that time, Leo, 4 of Swords. Yeah. So guys, after that time, I think you gave yourself a bit of a talking to. I'm going to pick myself up, I'm going to dust myself off, and I'm going to hold my face up to the sun. When I look at the bigger picture, life is actually pretty good. Okay, this was rough, but I'm all right. I'm going to survive this. I'm still good, right? Oh, Leo. Oh, guys, I'm getting this wave of bravery. In your thoughts, 4 of Wands. Yes, Leo, you are still stable. Okay, you may be taking care of your home. You may be cosseting yourself at home. You're also protecting an idea. This little bird is protecting X. I'm protecting an idea that could help you grow and expand, an idea, Leo, that you may have put on the back burner, but I think you're deciding to embrace this. In the immediate future, yeah, 3 of Wands. Leo, you seem to be carefully considering major change. Now, guys, I don't know. You could be gathering together your resources, realizing life isn't that bad. I'm still pretty stable. I could do quite a lot. You're just shifting your mindset. It's almost as if whatever happened in the past, Leo, made you stronger, wiser, yes, but it also highlighted that compared with many, many other people, you were still sitting in a place of stability. You could still enjoy some home comforts. You may even have moved into a place where you felt more appreciative of your life. In your fears, fearing, Leo, that you're going to perhaps have to face another roller coaster. It could be financial, guys, Pentacles energy. You're fearing that if you do this, it might put you into a place of risk. But Leo, you're not thinking negatively, you're thinking positively. This may be a very big shift for you, but if you do this right, if you plan this carefully, if you keep your feet on the ground, Leo, this is going to be something that I think is going to help you going forward. This is going to be something, Leo, that's going to lift you. In the environment, 8 of Cups, whoever you're connecting with, Leo, is on board. I'm hearing on board. I'm seeing somebody actually step onto a boat. They're on board. Okay. A mentor, a partner, a best mate. Leo, you may be thinking of moving, traveling, relocating. We've got water here. We have water here. 2 cards showing the ocean. Leo, are you setting sail for pastures new? It could be symbolic. You may, over the last few years, Leo, have felt nervous about your finances, but when you actually check whatever you have accumulated, you may even be looking at pensions, all that sort of thing, you're realizing that actually things are pretty good. When all's said and done, even though what you went through was tricky and difficult, you may even have lost money for some of you, you're still okay. You're actually more than okay, Leo. You're walking on sunshine. You're walking on sunshine, guys. In your hopes, Leo, the Chariot. Yeah, I mean, you're hoping for victory and success, hoping to move forward, hoping this is going to be successful. And the outcome is Ace of Swords. Leo, you are leaving something behind. I'm noticing we have a dragonfly. How beautiful. You're spreading your wings, Leo. You're spreading your wings. You're getting out of the darkness. You're heading to the sunshine. You're very excited about this. It's as if you've taken a huge step back and looked at the much bigger picture, where you might be in 20 years' time. And you're realizing that if you put this plan in place, you could be sitting in a huge amount of happiness. But it does mean change, Leo. It does mean change. Clarification for you. Okay, 2 of Swords. Leo, you've been sat in denial. Okay. I also think you've been sat in this heaviness of the 9 of Wands. I've got to be honest, guys, it could have been a little bit of stubborn energy. No, I'm not doing that. No, it could be a bit risky. No, I don't want to embrace change. No, it's going to take time and effort. Leo, you're doing it. It's as if you've woken up one morning and thought, you know what, to hell with it, I'm doing it. Yeah. Or we are doing it. You could be doing this as a couple. You could be actually moving. If this is you embracing change on your own, Leo, you've got someone here who is telling you, I think that's a brilliant idea. Go for it. Yeah, if I was in your shoes, that's what I'd do. So whoever this is who is in agreement with you, you're saying to this person, I think if I do this, my ships are going to come in, but I need to embrace change. And what they're saying to you is, yeah, go for it. 8 of Cups, walk away from this heaviness you've been sitting in. Embrace this, right? They're telling you to embrace the sun, Leo. Yes, yes, says this person. What a brilliant idea, Leo. And this is your card, of course, of the sun. Yep. Knight of Coins. It's been a long time coming. Leo, whoever this is basically saying to you, I don't understand why you didn't do this before. Why did you just sit feeling all heavy and stressed about the situation you were in, thinking negatively? Why didn't you just embrace change? And this is what you're deciding to do. Okay, Leo. All right. So let's get into this, guys. Archangel Michael, why was Leo sat? I'm saying was because you were no longer. Why was Leo sat in the 6 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords? Okay, I think, Leo, someone did something to cause you heartbreak. Wow, really? Okay. 7 of Cups, you were very confused about this, Leo. You tried to move yourself to calmer waters, but you were still feeling down about this. You may have felt, Leo, that somebody planned something all along, which might have caused you to sit in this heavy energy. Empress. But I think, Leo, you rose above. 5 of Cups, you were very disappointed, Leo, but I think you're coming through as the Empress. You rose above. Yeah, it made you stronger, Leo. So let's have a look at the past. You were feeling a sense of heaviness. You were feeling defensive. You may have been battling against people, okay? If you look at this energy, you may have been battling against people who were giving you a tough time. You may have felt people being strategic around you. It wasn't easy. Yeah, not easy. Page of Swords. There was a difficult message of truth, my Leos. Yeah. Yeah, this wasn't easy. And I think, Leo, with the Strength card, you pulled back. And you did a lot of thinking about your future. What am I going to do now? I don't think you were feeling in a desperate place, but it did cause you to have to rethink your stability in the future. Somehow, Leo. Yeah, because with the 7 of Swords, there was some sneakiness. There was some sneakiness in the past. Okay. Might have related to a Gemini, and I love my gems. Whatever happened, somebody made a choice and you were left sort of feeling a bit manipulated, I have to be honest. After that time, Leo, you came to terms with this. You came to terms with this. You did feel heartbroken. You did. Okay, you're only human. You did feel heartbroken. It might have taken you a while to sort of feel like yourself again. Yeah, but I think half of it, Leo, was fear of how this would affect your stability in the future. How this would affect your stability in the future. King of Coins. You may have been thinking about a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn. Or even a Scorpio. But things have changed, Leo. You told yourself, okay, all right, I'm not in the same situation as I was before, but you're still sitting in some form of stability. Okay? All right. So guys, this may be you thinking, well, I'm not as financially stable as I was before, but I can still keep a roof over my head. You may have a saving scheme, or you may have pension plans that you can dip into later on down the road, even if it's 20 years time, Leo. What you're thinking about is, I know I'm going to be okay in the future. It might be that what you're thinking about is, I just need to ride through the next few years, be sensible, pull my horns in, make sure that financially I don't overspend. You may be paying off a mortgage, but you may be doing that relatively easily, or you may know that you can rent for not very much money wherever you are. You're reassessing everything, and it could well be on a practical basis. Could well be on a practical basis. Yeah. Justice. Yeah. It may well be, Leo, that a property is making you feel balanced. I've got my home, right? I've got a roof over my head. For some of you, you may be thinking about a property and a legal contract. Now, that could be anything, guys. It could be you thinking to yourself, I could take money out of the property, or I've got enough savings so I can add to my property to make it more valuable. You're being savvy, Leo. The other thing you may be thinking about is, if you're in a property and you've already paid off the mortgage, if you're lucky to be in that situation, then you may be considering moving to a smaller property, which means that you can put the excess cash, maybe equity, into a high interest savings scheme, which is going to give you a little bit more financial stability, maybe liquid cash later on down the line when you need it. You're being savvy with what you've got. You're being savvy with what you've got. You may be looking at your accounts, okay? You may be looking at your accounts. One could be, I don't know, personal account, business account, savings account, or an ISA, or a life assurance plan, or something that is going to give you a serious amount of interest. Yeah, interesting. 3 coins. You're looking at 3 accounts or 3 lump sums of money, and you may, Leo, be looking at things from a different perspective. Okay, well, I haven't got a huge amount now, but I've got this property, and with this property I could do X, Y, Z. I could add to it to increase its value. I could sell it, move somewhere cheaper. You've got this property, Leo, for many of you, okay? And for many of you, this will be a property that you own. Hanged Man, you are seeing things differently. What you're realizing is you don't have to feel as if you're self-sacrificing. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay, Leo. You know? The Fool. You're thinking about doing something different. Pisces energy, Aries energy, you're thinking about doing something different. Why am I sitting here slightly nervous about the future when things are actually pretty good? Queen of Wands. I think, Leo, this is you. You're coming through as the Empress and the Queen of Wands. You're very excited about whatever this is. So, guys, in the immediate future, we have the 3 of Wands. You're wondering whether or not your ships would come in if you took a course of action. And whoever was in the environment, Leo, was saying, yes, fantastic, great idea. The Sun, enlightenment, yes. Knight of Coins, this could bring in a greater sense of stability for you in the future. So, Archangel Michael, when do we have the 3 of Wands and the 8 of Cups for my Leos? Thank you, Michael. I'm hearing the beginning of January. Leo, you're going to put this plan in progress at the start of January next year, which, guys, as you know, is only a month and a half away, which is a bit scary, but there we go. What are you thinking about, guys? Page of Wands. You've got this bright idea. Okay. You've got this bright idea. Four of Pentacles. And you're sort of cross with yourself because you've been holding back. You've been holding on in a sort of, I've got to say it, Leo, in a bit of a poverty mindset, when actually you don't need to sit in that energy at all. Yeah, Leo. Six of Cups. You're looking at the past. You're feeling nostalgic. You're realizing that you held back from embracing change for quite a long time. Two of Wands. Leo, you may have stood at crossroads because there might have been issues with an emperor, or you may have felt that somebody was trying to control you, tell you what to do, tell you how to live your life. No, 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 Leo, don't do that. No, 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 Leo. Leo, what you're realizing is you want to be happy. And you've been sat feeling all screwed up and nervous and stressed about the future. Oh, you know, a bit worried about this, worried about that. I shouldn't spend any money at all, just in case. Leo, you're deciding that you're not actually in that challenging a situation. Things are pretty good. All right. You've got enough money to give yourself a good life. You are feeling relatively stable. You also know, Leo, that you've got money coming in later on. And if you're savvy, if you're intelligent about how you manage your resources, whether or not it's savings, whether or not it's a property, then you're going to be sitting in a much more stable situation later on down the line than even you are now. Yeah. What are you telling yourself, guys? Yeah, you just got to get on with it. Eight of Pentacles, you got to get on with it. You're taking charge, Leo. You're taking charge. You're taking charge, guys. Yeah, you've realised you've been sat too much in your head. Overthinking, over-analysing. Would this work? Wouldn't this? Leo, I think you're fed up of just sitting in this mental prison. You're taking action. You're taking action, Leo, and you, I feel, are talking to someone who is telling you, Leo, this is the best idea. Yes, Leo, I think this is a brilliant idea. They're fully behind you. Yeah. Yes, this is communication, and very excited communication. So whoever this is saying to you, if you walk away from the situation, from this negative mindset, maybe even change areas or look at things differently, turn it on its head, you're going to realize, Leo, that you're actually sitting in the sunshine, sitting in this beautiful enlightenment. You are happy, you can grow and expand because money's coming in later on. Or what they're saying to you is, if you make this change, it is going to boost your financial stability. So what are they saying to you? What else are they talking to you about? The world. Yes. Leo, close out a cycle of sitting in this poverty mindset. Look at things from an expansive point of view and get moving. Get moving. You may be doing some research online. Leo. What else are they saying? The Hierophant could be a Taurian. What they're saying to you, Leo, is it is time to think outside the box. Put an end to you doing things so traditionally, sat in this slight negative energy. Oh, it's too risky. No, I don't think so. What if this happens? What if that happens? What they're saying is, for God's sake, you know, the sky could fall in. We could get run over by a bus tomorrow. Life is too short. Do this. Do this. And Leo, you're taking their advice. Or this is someone, Leo, who is doing this with you. They're totally on board. They're totally on board. Yeah. And Leo, 3 of Cups. I mean, this is someone who's thinking this is an amazing idea. This is very exciting. Very exciting. What is going through your minds, both of you here? A passionate new start. Wow. Leo, I have to admit, I don't actually think this is love, although for some of you, you could read it as love. I think either we have you as a single person, Leo, receiving advice from a friend or a mentor or a parent or someone like that, could even be a financial advisor, about making a change and looking at your situation, realizing that actually things are pretty good. Or this could be you as part of a couple who've been hanging onto your house, hanging onto your money. Oh, it's all a bit risky out there. Let's not make any changes. But what you're realizing is, having looked at your financials, you're doing really, really well. And you may have been living a little bit hand to mouth when actually you don't need to. You don't need to. I mean, for some of you, this is maybe you thinking, you know what, there's quite a lot of money wrapped up in this house I'm sitting on, or we're sitting on. We should embrace change. Let's live somewhere smaller. Let's live somewhere less expensive. Why not? It may mean you'd have to look for a new job. It may mean a career change. But it might be, Leo, that you're running a business, so you don't have to worry about where you actually live. It could be, Leo, that you know that in a year's time or a few years' time, your pensions are going to kick in, and that's going to give you even more stability. You're looking at the fine details, Leo, and what you're realizing is you've got more than enough, more than you need to live a decent life going forward. So what you're hoping to do is to head forward in this chariot. This is victory and success. But it does mean, Leo, that you're going to have to let something go, okay? It could be the location you live in. It could be a property. It could be a way of doing things, Leo. It could be you're breaking outside the box. You're not thinking so traditionally anymore. You're thinking more expansively. You're also getting rid of this fear mindset. You're putting your feet on the ground, you're getting logical, and you're thinking, you know what? Yes, there will be a lot of change, but this is very exciting. So, Archangel Michael, tell us about the Ace of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Leo, 3 aces on this table already. 3 aces on this table, 4. I'm pretty sure we saw the Ace of Cups here somewhere. Leo, this is a brand new start. You could indeed be uprooting and moving, or you're using a lump sum of money to create more money. So you could be putting on an extension on your house. You could be doing renovations. You could be selling a property to release a lump sum of money, which you're going to be using for something else. You're realizing, Leo, you do have options. You do have options, Leo. You're really looking at this. Very exciting. You are going to have to juggle money around, but if you think outside the box and if you take a little bit of a risk, it could be releasing money from your house or it could be selling your property, you're going to be able to feel much more comfortable going forward. You're going to lose that sense of fear. This is a change of mindset as well, Leo, and you're going to get busy. 2 of Pentacles. You're going to get really busy with this. You're going to get moving because, Leo, what you're realizing is you've been sitting, sort of wallowing in, oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. Oh, no, I'm a bit worried about my money going forward. You've just been wallowing in that mindset when you just needed to think outside the box. Yeah, you've just been sitting in temperance, you know? You've just been sitting in this temperate, coasting energy. I think you're ready, Leo. And I have to say, I think the angels are guiding you to do just that. You know, make this move. Yeah, because with the energy of the star, Leo, this is going to bring about some kind of wish come true. This is going to bring about also, Leo, a sense of peace and tranquility. The Magician. And Leo, what you're realizing is you could manifest this. You could manifest this. This is you manifesting your dream, Leo. Wow. High Priestess, and you're using your intuition. What you're recognizing is, I could have done this a while ago, but I didn't have the courage to do it, or I was thinking too logically, or I was a bit set in my ways, or I was sat too much in fear. Leo, that's all going out the window, because this is you deciding to bite the bullet and actually do whatever this is. Release money and use it for something that is going to help you gain more financial stability, or move to a cheaper property, move to a cheaper area. You could be releasing equity at the same time. You could be putting on an extension or something that's going to add value to your house rather than keeping the money locked away in savings. Would make sense. Yeah, Leo, you're looking at things completely differently here. Yeah, Wheel of Destiny. It's time to grab hold of that wheel, Leo, and allow it to pull you up and out of any sort of fear-based mentality and shift you forward. This is progress. This is progress. So guys, what a stunning reading. What I'm feeling most, Leo, is this is a complete shift of mindset. Whereas before you were sitting in fears and doubts and worries and stress, what if this, what if that, oh, I need to be super careful. No, you're laying everything out in front of you. You may even be looking at your finances, okay? Jotting down what you have, jotting down your expenses, maybe pensions to come, ISAs, life insurance plans, whatever this is. You're looking at all this really carefully, and what you're realizing is, okay, I don't need to sit here feeling as if I'm stressed about this. If I pull back and look at this logically, I could shift a few things around and not only boost my sense of stability for the future, but move myself into a much more relaxed mindset. Why have I been sat in fear and stress in the past? I didn't need to. I was looking at things a bit negatively, you know? Yeah, Leo, there is going to be victory and success. There is, guys. There is. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful energy. So Leo, embrace this time. Allow yourself to walk on sunshine. And if you haven't listened to that song, listen to it, particularly if you're feeling a bit low, because it just makes you smile, okay? I think it's Katrina and the Waves. But I'm leaving it there. Let me know if this resonates. Take care of you guys. And of course, I'll be back before you know it with your next set of readings. See you soon, Leo. Bye now.